Welcome back to Nightly Nonsense, where we make some sense out of the nonsense all around us. Listen, I alluded to it last night. I want to carry it over to tonight. Something that I've talked about before, something that the people of my church have heard before. I'm not really sure where the disconnect is, so maybe if you listen to this, maybe you could just kind of, message me and say like, hey, here's what we didn't understand. Here is the disconnect, right? And then that might be super helpful for me. So, listen to this whole thing, see if you can help me out. But also see if God might have something for you, right? One of the things that is key about Christianity, right, is that it is a personal relationship between you and Jesus Christ. There is nobody getting you to heaven, right, other than Jesus and you, right? You can't get yourself to heaven. Nobody else can get yourself to heaven. Jesus made a way for us to get to heaven. And when you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, then you open up, right, the ability for God to let you in the gate. Jesus opens up the gate. You get to go to heaven, right? So, that's the simplicity of the whole thing. It's your relationship with Jesus are going to be the keys to whether the door is unlocked to you. Jesus said, I am the door, right? Nobody gets to the Father but through me. So you can't get around that. There isn't enough good works that you can do so you can bypass the door. There's no back secret entrance that people are going to find, right? Jesus isn't in need of you so much that he's like, oh, we got to let you in, right? It's just about you, your relationship with Jesus, and whether or not he lets you in to the Father, right? So that's the simplicity of it, right? You can go to church all you want. You can have the greatest family. You can have the greatest friends. And they can all be saved and go into heaven and you not be. Right? So we got to establish that, because if you don't believe that, then nothing else that I'm going to say or a whole bunch of other people are going to say is going to make any sense to you. It's not going to be meaningful to you. Right? So do you believe that Jesus is the door? He is the way to get to heaven. You have to have a personal relationship with him. Right? Part of that relationship then is that you make him Lord of your life. Again, I wish we lived in the medieval days, not just for my sword collection, because these things would make a lot more sense. When you declared fealty to a king, you declared they were going to be Lord of your life. You were putting yourself under their care, their protection, and their authority. So not only were they going to protect you from the bad guys, hopefully, right? They were also going to require things from you. You were going to have to help supply, right, the needs of the king. That might be through your children. That might be through your crops. That might be through your animals. That might be through your land, right? Whatever it is that the king required of you to do. Everything you owned, including your family, was now turned over, right, and given to the king. You have access to it all. No exceptions. So when the king said, hey, I'm going to war, I need your sons. Yep, that's what happened, right? And if you didn't send them voluntarily, they could be forcibly taken. When the king said, hey, I need servants, I need your daughters. Yep, that's how it worked, right? When the king said, I need money to finance my campaigns, you gave money. He said, I need food in order to eat at the table. You gave food, right? You gave whatever it was that the king needed. So stop right there tonight. I want to stop and I want you to think about that, right? Is that your definition of Jesus being Lord of your life? Are you giving God everything, access to every single part of your life? Does he have access to every area? That if he calls upon it, if he calls you to give it up, to use it, to sacrifice it, that you're willing to do that, right? We like to talk about the bank account. That's the easy one. But when you read the Old Testament and the New Testament, it's about first fruits. You're to give God your best. It wasn't just animals. That wasn't just coins. That's your best, your firstborn, everything, right? Your best, your first fruits was to be given to God. Are you doing that tonight? It's a very simple question. Yes or no? Does God have access to everything you have? Starting with yourself, have you made him Lord? And then, does he have access to all of your stuff? That's not just an adult thing, that's a youth thing, that's a child thing. Does God have access to all of it? If God said to you as a youth, hey, I need you to come and be a part of this and not play football, would you do it? If God said, I need you to not work overtime, would you do it? If God said, I need you to work overtime so that you can supply other people with things, would you do it? Do you, looking over your life, do you know that you have literally made God, Jesus, the Lord of your life? If the answer to that is no, then I challenge you to do that. Work on the areas because God's going to work on it. Say, you're claiming my name, but you're not there. Right? We all have those areas that we just want to hold on tight to. Right? There's a problem with holding on tight to things. It tends to slip through your fingers. God will pry your fingers, right, to get access to the things. One day you might just wake up with a handful of dust, right, instead of that which you've been trying to protect and keep. Right? So chew on that. We'll come back tomorrow night and talk some more about this.